Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
It says, remember the days of old. Y'all all heard that term before. If you don't remember your past, you are doomed to repeat it. You know, if you don't learn from your past, you're going to be doomed to repeat it. You won't go back in slavery. You won't go back to killing each other. Let me tell you something. Let's say your father, your grandfather was a drug addict. And you knew that your father was a drug addict. And you understood the horrible things that your father did, or horrible things that happened to him because he was on drugs. Are you going to grow up and follow what your father did? Are you going to grow up to be a drug addict as well? Do you want to do that? I guarantee you don't want to if you're smart. But if you don't want to learn from that, you're going to be a drug addict just like your father. Keep reading.
Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
Many generations. So not just then, but the time after that, and the time after that, and all the way up until now. Keep going.
Ask thy father.
It says, ask who?
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
It says, ask thy father, and he will show thee. Show him what, Ilatazar?
Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
Ask your elders and they will tell thee. Talk to your grandparents. Talk to your father. Talk to your mother. Listen to your elders, man. I know a lot of y'all kids, y'all don't want to listen to y'all parents. I know. We was all there. But you know, my father used to always tell me something when I was a kid. He said, I wasn't born yesterday. So you can't pull the wool over my eyes. I know what you're doing. And I was a kid, we were all young, you know, you want to do what you want to do. But my father was trying to be a good father and teach me right from wrong. So if you want to learn about your history, ask your elders. I know a lot of y'all, again, we have this common misconception that slavery ended such a long time ago. Segregation ended such a long time ago. And you don't need to worry about it anymore. And everybody that went through it is now dead, so we should forget about it. Y'all forget that we still got grandparents. We still got great-grandparents. I had grandparents who knew the Black Panthers. I had a great-grandmother who worked on a plantation. Okay, so I still remember all these things. I still remember the atrocities that America has committed against my people. Any more on that? All right, so drop that. Now let me get Micah 2 and 10. You already know what I want. Micah 2 and 10. Now this is something, I'm going to bring out some statistics for all my so-called blacks and Latinos. And I'm saying so-called because let's be real right now. You're not just black. You got roots. Odds are you from the southern tribes that were taken out of Africa. Now, you're not really an African as in a Hamite. You're God's chosen people, but you happen to be in West Africa at that point. If you don't believe me, you can go Google it yourself. Google is free. I know y'all like that saying. Google is free. Half of y'all on y'all phones anyway. Go look it up yourself. The Kingdom of Judah that migrated to West Africa. You can go look it up yourself. But I want to read something out of the Bible, and I'm going to bring out some statistics for all my so-called blacks and Latinos. Let me get Micah 2 and 10.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
This is not your what?
Your rest.
This is not your what?
Your rest. Because it is polluted.
It is what?
It is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
Now what does that mean right there? For this is not your rest. For all my so-called blacks and Latinos, this is not your rest. I know we've all been feeding into that dream of you can be born in America, anybody can make it. You know, all you gotta do is just work hard and climb the corporate ladder, go to college, and you're gonna be all good. You know, race doesn't matter here in America. Well, on a country that was built off of systematic racism and still thrives off of it, I hate to break it to you, but yeah, it does matter. America is still very racist. Don't believe me? What do y'all do when y'all go to a job and you gotta fill out a job application? What do you gotta fill out? You think you should just put in your credentials, right? You just gotta put in what you qualify for, right? Now there's a little box there that you gotta check every single time. Anybody know what that check is? Anybody knows what those boxes are that you gotta check when you go for a job application? Nobody wants to answer? It's okay, I'll answer it for you. You gotta check what race or ethnicity you are. And you see it right there, black or African American, Hispanic or Latino, Native or Pacific Islander. And you know what's really crazy? Then you got an other box that says other. I don't know what other is, but hey, check it if you want to, I guess, to throw off the quota. But my point being is, why should your race matter if you're going to apply for a job? What does it matter? If you have the credentials and you qualify for this position, your race shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter that I'm a so-called Jamaican American. I'm a so-called black man in America. This brother over here is so-called Native American. These brothers over here so-called Mexican American or Hispanic or Latino. Your race should not matter, right? Because race does not matter anymore. America is no longer racist, is what they tell you. But let me tell you something right now, race matters quite a bit here in a country that was built off of systematic racism. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have you read something real quick, Al-Atazar. I'm gonna have you read something out of here real quick. Does anybody know what redlining is? Anybody know what redlining is? Nobody knows? Nobody knows what redlining is. It's okay, it's okay. We're going to read what redlining is right here. Go ahead and read that for me, the one that's highlighted.
Redlining. In the United States, the Fair Housing Act of 1968 was passed to fight the practice of redlining.
Stop right there. Now, this was something that was made to fight the practice of redlining, right? Now, you got to understand something. Why did this need to be fought? Why did redlining in America need to be fought? Now I'm going to get the definition for you. Go ahead.
Redlining is a discriminatory practice in which services, financial and otherwise, are withheld from potential customers who reside in neighborhoods classified as hazardous to investment. These neighborhoods have significant numbers of racial, These neighborhoods have significant numbers of racial.
What's that word? Read that word one more time for me. What is that?
Of racial.
So again, here we go with the race. I know everybody likes to say, well, why are black people so obsessed with race? It's because America is obsessed with race. We just trying to live our lives. We just trying to succeed. But every single time we got to be reminded, oh, you're black. You're a black man. You're a black woman. You're Hispanic. You're Latino. We always got to be reminded of these terms that were never really our original names, by the way. These were the ethnic groups that were given to us by the same people who conquered our ancestors and stripped our names. But here we go with the term racial, race. You always got to hear about it. Keep going.
These neighborhoods have significant numbers of racial and ethnic minorities and low-income residents.
Low-income residents. So let me break it down to you like this, right? I'm putting in a simple term that some of y'all might be able to understand. Redlining is usually applied to so-called blacks and Latinos in America. When you go to a predominantly black neighborhood, does it look well off to you? Let's be honest right now. I'm talking about a predominantly black neighborhood. Not some black people that's living up in the suburbs. I'm talking about the ghetto. So-called Latinos or Mexican Americans, as you would call them, when they live in the ghetto, most of the time, does it look good? Does it look right compared to, I don't know, the suburban neighborhoods that predominantly white people live in? Does it look good? Does the infrastructure for the apartments look good? Do the streets look good? I know a lot of y'all got to keep going checking up on your car and catching flat tires because there's always potholes in the middle of the damn street. Tell me I'm wrong. Now, I'll break it down to you even further. In these predominantly black and Latino neighborhoods, you have grocery stores, right? In majority of ghettos, you ain't gonna have a Sprouts. You don't have a Winko's, you have a State of Bros, you have something like that. When you go to predominantly white neighborhoods, suburban neighborhoods, you'll have a Sprouts, you'll have a Whole Foods, you have better quality of food over there. But where are these bad foods being sent to? Predominantly black and Latino neighborhoods. That's why a lot of y'all have health problems to this day. Because let me get Micah 2 and 10 from the top real quick. Let's get that again real quick, right? Because this really is not your place of rest. I want to emphasize that. Go ahead.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted.
It says it is polluted. That's not a metaphor. That's actually serious.